My father used to say, "Watch this man."
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding Into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
Disney insider WDW Pro recently speculated.
Time and time again, he's broken big entertainment news live on the air.
I've been following WDW Pro and his track record for years. If you want to find out what's on the horizon for theme parks, Pro is where you go.
Let's check in on Rian Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay.
I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George, I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird. Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you. Always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
All right, everyone, put on your coffee glasses.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
We're gonna do it!
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take
From the redwoods of California to the hills of Tennessee to the Rockies in the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show!
You know what I just realized? I realized that I am the only one who can get this StreamYard to work right now. Pro is having massive glitches, and I am here on this witch's road, down the road, to try to get this show operating on time. Pro, you're looking a little fuzzy today. You feeling all right, bud?
Oh, man. Well, how could someone not look fuzzy and feel fuzzy after having watched that episode? Yeah, we've never had that happen before. Everything shut down to the point it was even difficult to exit the software we use to do all of this stuff that we do, this magic that we make happen. And by the way, magic did not happen during tonight's episode. We've got a big show for you all out there. And folks, if you are just coming for an Agatha All Along review show, well, buckle up, because this is not going to be just one of those. We have so much news breaking that this might as well be considered just a special edition of the Pro Show. We'll get into it momentarily, but Jonas, I know we've got another panelist who's already here and ready to go.
That would be the only appropriate thing to do. Let's bring him in. Oh, this poor fellow. Are you feeling okay, Culture? You look like you might have drank that poison.
Uh-oh. Somebody didn't have fun.
No, I'm actually very worried about what Disney is doing with this show. There was
like the weird demonic thing in the middle of the episode.
No, I think that's wholly inappropriate for Disney. To have a demon show up in the midst of a Marvel show. Remember, this is for kids. Everybody, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, this is not for kids. This is not for anybody.
There's also there's some sapphic moments in there, aren't there?
Yeah, but fortunately there was no knitting or anything that you would normally use to cut yarn in it. I'm just saying.
They did reference knitting needles, though.
No, they did. Yeah, well, we were getting really close to a whole sewing kit. Let me tell you.
Back to the thread we go, back to the thread.
All right, well,
rock, guys, I gotta say,
knitting needles.
I think this was one of the most hallucinogenic and worthless episodes in any show I've ever seen. You have to go back to something from like the 1970s Saturday cartoon shows to think of something that was this clearly drug-induced.
I feel like, what was that? It referenced fruit, like the Alpha Banana Punk Gang or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was there was some weirdness here. But look, the beginning of it started out like, okay, I can get into this. We got a little bit of 60s, 70s going on here.
That's our new genre flavor of the day. We had to do it with WandaVision. We've got to do it with Agatha. Yeah. Every episode has to be a new flavor. Even the first episode that wasn't on the Witch's Road somehow had us in a crime scene. Detective kind of show.
The aesthetic was good. The escape room was demonic. And,
well, hang on a second, though, Culture. Mm-hmm. Before you go any further, I just want to ask, because now we've got the confirmation that indeed every one of these episodes is going to be an escape room, a thematic escape room. Okay. Can you imagine, Culture, how you would have responded if somebody had come to you as an executive and said, "Hey, we're going to do this show, and every episode's going to be a differently themed escape room"? Can you imagine what you would have said back to that?
I don't know what my response would have been. I'm like, do you have an example of something successful that has done this before?
That has ever done anything like this? Ever.
Yeah, and it's,
what it's like, Culture? It's like, okay, so in a season with a series that's got a lot of episodes in it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say it's got maybe 28 episodes back in the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
You would have some throwaway episodes where they did some really, really goofy crap.
Yeah.
So you'd have the Halloween episode, and you'd have, the throwback episode where you do the highlight clips and they're telling the story about the episodes, and that's how you, okay?
Yeah.
Agatha is like every one of those. All of the throwaway episodes from bad series of yore, all combined into a series.
Yeah, that's actually that is how bottle episodes usually go. They're usually stuck on one set and they have to figure out a way to get out or something like that, something that tries to reduce the budget. I don't think this has a reduced budget by any stretch. This all looked like they, for Disney, that they spent a lot of money on it.
Can we throw away the $30 million budget claim from Paul Tassi now, having seen the demon and all that? 30 million is what Paul Tassi wants.
No, I don't believe that. That would be there's no way they make the show for less than 10 million an episode. Why? Because
I mean, well, the credits alone have to cost them $5 million an episode.
That's probably true.
Like the rights to Bewitched and all of the clips that they play over that.
Yeah.
So we referenced the song. Okay, so let's give a basic gist of what has happened here. We start at the end of the last episode. Mrs. Hart is dead. I assumed that she would be alive in this episode.
She's dead.
Yeah, and then they all have to summon another witch because they need a green witch. And they all have to participate in the spell in order to bring in the green witch. That green witch is Aubrey Plaza's character, which is a good thing we met her. Otherwise, we'd be meeting her for the first time now. And she says she is not a green witch, she is the green witch. And they do like a little low voice effect on her when she does that.
The green witch, and we still have no idea what green witches do, so nobody cares.
They're still trying to beat us over the head with the super text. It's not subtext, the super text that her and Agatha had a thing going on.
Oh, I mean, by the end of the episode, they're both lesbians. We're back at it. We're back at it again. I'm only shocked that they have not brought the chosen one into the world somehow.
Speaking of the chosen one,
yeah, you stole my segue. That's good. That's good.
Wait,
I didn't mean to beat you to the punch on that one. I just figured I'd take it while it's there.
How is Marvin the chosen one?
Because he was there when I wanted to make the joke. That's why.
And because whereas you have facial hair, and might I say, quite the growth of facial hair, something to be esteemed on every single stream. But Marvin's covered in it, so
that's
you
true.
know. Yeah.
That's true.
This is true.
He is the hairy one.
Orange. Yeah, well, hey, look, orange hair bad or something.
That's right. Guys, before we get into Agatha,
he's a furry.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Don't you put that evil on me, Jonas J. Campbell.
Better than a brony. Jonas, let's bring up. We've got a gifted membership we need to recognize, and then folks, we're going to dive into news. We'll come back to Agatha in just a wee bit, but we've got so much news to cover, and we'll get there in just a moment.
Oh, you better not have made me watch this show for no reason. Samuel Maine gifted.
We'll review it.
Samuel Maine gifted one WDW Pro membership. Thank you very much, Samuel Maine. It is appreciated. Thank you for paying it forward.
Indeed. Talk about somebody who is paying things forward, guys. We need to talk about Rachel Zegler, if that's okay.
Oh, goody.
I'm so sorry. So earlier today, we did a conversation, and I don't know, Jonas, when yours is coming out on that Park Place, but everybody's covering this because Rachel Zegler did an interview with Variety. Now, the video we did on this has exploded yet again, and we're happy for that, absolutely, 100%. But let's just say it's not going the way that I think Disney might have hoped for if they're the ones who arranged this. And oh, by the way, I think they probably were. So let's talk about the fallout here. We have gone from toxic Star Wars fans to toxic Marvel fans to toxic superhero fans. Now it's just flat out Disney. And this is because of the Rachel Zegler interview. It is one of the worst conversations and interviews I have ever seen in the history of Hollywood stars. I have never seen anyone do this kind of damage to their own movie before it ever comes out. And she still has 5 months left to go. This is amazing. But let's read this article from Slash Film. It's by Nina Starner. Here's what it says. You all figure out if you think Disney is liking this. Ever since she made her feature film debut in Steven Spielberg's masterful remake of West Side. I'm sorry. Man,
here we go.
it was such a flop. Oh gosh. Talk about some framing. In 2021, Rachel Zegler has become a lightning rod for controversy. 2021? What is going on with this article? Although, to be incredibly frank, it's usually because people are being weird, and racist to her on the internet. That has definitely been the case when it comes to Zegler's other upcoming remake, Snow White, where she plays the titular Disney princess. And in a recent profile, she told Variety that her film creates an alternate history regarding the princess's name, and said that she tries to just ignore the rudest Disney fans. It fell back to another version of Snow White that was being told in history, where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby, because she was a resilient young baby. No blizzard's going to take out her. She's a feminist baby, darn it. Let's skip ahead because we covered this in the video earlier, but this one's just.
She don't need no parka, Pro.
No. Get that coat away. Don't even dare. As Zegler says in the profile, the negative reaction to her being cast as Snow White comes down to basic misogyny and hatred. Okay, so apparently, guys, if you can believe this, apparently the reason, according to Zegler, that people don't like her playing Snow White is because she's a woman. Apparently,
who played Snow White last time? I'm sorry.
This is getting hard.
Are we revealing something? Are we revealing?
I was
something
outraged
here?
when Snow White wasn't played by Sylvester Stallone in this.
hey, someday my prince will come. Hey.
We have reached this point. I mean, you can't make this up. This woman is absolutely, she is Disney's self-inflicted Molotov. It says, I watched women get torn down my whole life, my whole career. She's 23, by the way.
She's a baby.
We're gonna witness that for a long time, I fear. Sometimes it can feel like we're going back. It certainly felt that way when that was happening. Still, she simply stays online when people are awful to her to maintain the power. I don't like to give them the satisfaction of knowing they hurt me in the moment. You give them a lot of power by taking a social media break. Oh, yeah, well, Disney wishes you would take a social media break at this point. All right, guys, we'll pause here for the moment. Culture, we'll start with you. Are you enraged that Snow White is being played by a woman?
That my expectation was it would be played by a woman. I was hoping Disney wouldn't go, full woke and give us a dude playing a woman playing Snow White.
Yeah, well, in that regard, I think Disney actually, it's a win. They actually were able to identify what a woman is, select a woman, and put her in as a woman in the movie. So,
and honestly, I mean the absolute gumption of this actress thinking that she can talk about who's and what is a woman. I mean, how is she able to know?
I don't know. It's a really good question.
We got federal judges now don't know.
Who is she to say how Snow White identifies?
Yeah, she doesn't know.
Exactly. And how is it that she was already ascribed a gender as an infant surviving that blizzard, thus named Snow White? I think that was truly an act of oppression for her parents to assume that she was a she inside that low temperature environment. Very, very hazardous indeed in terms of parenting. Marvin,
right. Haven't her parents actually heard of shrinkage? How would they know?
That's a good point. Marvin, are you enraged? Easy, Culture. Marvin, are you enraged that Snow White is indeed a woman in this film? Is that why Rachel Zegler is facing disdain? Is that why she's got the historically most despised film in all of YouTube trailers?
Well, that's my secret, Pro. I'm always enraged. But no, seriously, I call her Ivan Drago because everything she hits, she destroys, because she is the destroyer of worlds. Yes, I am outraged that they cast a woman as Snow White. I really thought it was time for us to get I don't know. A dwarf man should have played Snow White also. I'm outraged. It was time, and we've just taken a step back as a people.
Jonas, could you play Zegler's advocate? Are we missing anything? Are we being harsh?
Well, unless she's saying something that I don't think she's really thinking that she's trying to say here, I'm going to go be bold and say that the original Snow White performance in 1937, I'm pretty sure that was a lady.
Poignant.
And
Jonas, was there outrage back then in the 1930s? Do you recall if people were furious that a woman would dare play a woman?
They said it couldn't be done.
And yet, here we are. You know what else can't be done? Bringing this kind of genius into the fold the way we just did. By golly, we did it. Lauren Connor is here. Lauren, welcome to the Rachel Zegler show. You thought we were doing Agatha, and this has broken. So,
speaking of breaking, Lauren, I'm very sorry what you were subjected to tonight.
My take might surprise you then.
Okay.
All right, we'll get to it. But continuing right along, it says Zegler wants her Snow White movie to be more empowering than the original because simply launching an entire, the largest entertainment corporation in the world, not empowering enough. Zegler clearly wants world domination with those CGI monstrosities. So watch out. Putin, you should be worried. She has big ambitions, this one. Besides the absurd Rossism surrounding Zegler as Snow White, the actress also made waves by criticizing the original Disney animated film, saying that director Mark Webb's take on the story will be a bit more enlightened. Isn't it nice to know that Mark Webb is better than Walt? Isn't it nice to know that, guys?
Much more enlightened than Walt Disney.
He was the director of Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's
enough for me.
Technically a film.
That puts him north of Walt territory, definitely. And then she says, in all honesty, it made me sad that it was taken in such a way because I believe that women can do anything. But I also believe they can do everything. Specifically, Zegler said that she simply wants girls and women to see the film and feel like they can proverbially have it all. And also clarified that the love story between Snow White and her prince is in the film. It just isn't the entire focus of the film.
Well, guys, it is now. After the third reshoot, it is in there now.
Can I show you this?
Yeah.
I just want everybody to see the way this is being spun. And this is not a win for Disney. That article is wiping them out. It says, after Rachel Zegler sent in an audition tape for West Side Story and won over one of the world's greatest living directors, she skyrocketed to fame and kept booking big projects. Guys, she has been in Shazam. She has had the lowest performing Hunger Games of all time. She was in, she's in Romeo and Juliet coming in. She was in West Side Story. She has not yet had a single thing that she has done be successful. How long can this go?
I think this is going to be it. I think Snow White is it for her. I think when this $500 million movie becomes the biggest bomb in Hollywood history, I don't think even Hollywood will allow her to fail upward that hard.
So this is probably the end. And is that why they're defending her so hard? Is that why we've got these articles coming out where she's declaring that her Snow White will be the empowering one, that her director is better than Walt?
Yeah. Let me talk about this for a moment. Okay. So Rachel Zegler has needed to do some PR work for a long time. She has needed a good publicist for a very long time. And I think that she thinks that this is a good publicist helping her out.
Wait a minute, Jonas. Are you saying that Zegler on her own is not proficient in PR?
No, not. But I think she thinks she's got it. I think that she confuses interacting with her group of friends and the people who praise her in Hollywood or wherever it is she grew up. I think she confuses that with how real life works. I think she comes off, and I don't know her life. I'm sure she's had something difficult in her life at some point, because we all have. I think that she thinks that being made fun of on the internet is the worst thing that can happen to a person, and telling people that she was made fun of on the internet is going to elicit something other than what she is already receiving on the internet. Or maybe she's thinking that the original piece in Variety that you and I read through that, and it reads like this is everyone else's fault.
Well, it reads like narcissism was drip fed into this person.
Right. And it's not even that the person writing the article is bold enough to say that she was picked on. She was, that there is a little bit of that in there, but it says that Rachel Zegler perceives most of the online discourse to be misinterpreting what she says, willful misinterpretation of what she said. She is saying that she is being attacked, and that anyone who disagrees with her, anyone who has a problem with anything that she has said, there's no grace whatsoever for the people who might disagree with her. You know who handles this well right now? Daisy Ridley. Daisy Ridley comes out and says, oh, well, people are passionate about this. There's been none of that from Zegler whatsoever, which tells me she's got, either she is telling everybody what to say, or she's got a publicist who is steering her in the complete wrong direction.
Well, Daisy's not getting it quite so easy anymore. She also came out and said that she can't change what men think about the Star Wars trilogy either, which
right,
was
as if women don't have negative opinions about it either.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a departure for how she's been acting in the past, and that actually surprised me because I thought the way Daisy has handled the Star Wars backlash ever since it began has actually been pretty classy. I suspect this was more a verbal misstep than anything else, but I guess it remains to be seen. I'm curious to see if she says anything else.
If you're trying to bring out this Rey movie and it's going nowhere and it's your lifeblood of your career, I can see how she would be getting a little sloppy in her statements. But guys, Jenna Ortega, she's in stuff. And sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it don't. And when it doesn't succeed, Jenna Ortega doesn't come out and say, it's because I have Latina heritage and I'm a woman. And guess what? Same thing with Jonas, help me out again. Who's the young lady who plays Miss Marvel? Iman Vellani.
Iman Vellani.
Yeah, she's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Culture, what's the difference here in this woman?
I don't know. I mean, it's too much self-involvement, too much surrounded by sycophants. I mean, when you look at it, you're like, she needs to read a good, media book, like, go grab some Marshall McLuhan or something like that. Get your hands on something that teaches you how to be a little bit more media cool. And I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, we have excellent Jenna Ortega is probably the best example because she has some of the most based takes, but she also isn't shy about some of the politics that she carries around with her either. But one thing she doesn't do is go after anybody who's going to maybe go see what she's doing. I think that
can we check Culture? Maybe she has the same publicist as Amandla.
No. Well, you mean you're talking about Rachel
Zegler? Maybe Zegler and Amandla Stenberg. Yeah. Maybe they're joining forces.
Yeah, probably. I mean, probably some person that's been hiding in Argentina since the end of the Second World War. Just wants to throw grenades everywhere. But yeah, I don't. It's really not a good. It's really not a good look what she does. And I to be honest with you. She's so self-involved. She's so narcissistic. Maybe she doesn't even have a publicist. Could you imagine?
No, there's no way. There's no way she arranged this whole thing without. Maybe it was Disney who did it on her behalf here.
Yeah.
We've seen, like in a TV show where you have a big bad of a season like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and every season the big bad has to get bigger and badder than the one before it. I feel like that's the escalation we've been going on through this journey, going from Brie Larson to Amandla Sameface to now Rachel Zegler. Like she's like the final boss. Like what's coming next?
All right, guys. So let's talk about the practical impact of this. So Snow White and the Seven. Well, it's just Snow White. There are no dwarfs anymore. Snow White was already the historically the most disliked Disney trailer ever on YouTube. All right. Then this came out, and now there's the discussion about toxic Disney fans. So there's a lack of grace. There's a lack of, oh, whoopsie, I misspoke. Clumsy me. Let's fix this. This is taking it in a... This is taking the direction that the movie was going in and hitting about 100 miles an hour. So what are we expecting now to be the box office if this strategy continues? Jonas, what do you think?
Well, if we're going to talk toxic Disney fans, I would imagine what they consider to be toxic Disney fans were probably on that list. But at this point, she's kind of hit all the branches of the tree on the way to wherever it is she is now. She's insulted fans of the original Snow White. She's kind of she's tried to explain her stance on what's gone on in the Middle East recently, which I don't think she should have weighed in on. I'll just say that. And I don't know. She just seems to be. She's touching all of the nerves all at one time, and she's coming off as a person who thinks that if you just knew what I knew, then you would understand that I'm correct. And that's never how you want to come off to the audience, especially for someone so young. She doesn't have, other than whatever her Instagram fan base is, she doesn't have that built up audience that has a lot of grace for her. She's not Tom Hanks here.
Right.
She's fresh, and she hasn't had a hit yet, despite the fact that Hollywood seems to try to insist that she has.
Right. She just needs a hit. And this is going in the absolute opposite direction as fast as possible. And for her sake and her career, she needs to get this figured out, because the messaging here, you may listen, and there may be people out there who are defenders of Rachel Zegler and say, well, you know, she's being taken advantage of, or she is in over her head and Disney has thrown her to the wolves. Whatever you want to come up with, you just have to say, this isn't happening to Iman Vellani. This isn't happening to Jenna Ortega. This isn't happening to any other young starlet other than this young lady and Amanda Stenberg. Why is that happening? Don't do that. Avoid that, because it's not helping your career unless you want to be typecast into very niche roles for ideological kinds of entertainment. That's it. Guys, final thoughts on this one? Anything else you got?
One thing I could say about Rachel Zegler is, at least when she does her diss track, I mean, at least she can sing, supposedly. So, you know, that might be a little bit easier to sit through than a man less same faces. But yeah, I mean, I don't even want to excuse her and be like, oh, Disney coached her. This is her. This is everything that she truly believes. I mean, she's admitted on television to being a narcissist, and everything that I see out of her is just classic textbook narcissism. She is radioactive waste in a skin suit. I could not be more disgusted with every word that comes out of her mouth. To the delusion of when the Snow White trailer went up and it had 1 million dislikes, and she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much to everyone who liked our trailer." Like,
right, it's discombobulating. Yes. All right, well, guys, let's get to the review of Agatha, and then on the other side of that, folks, as I've said, we've got a lot of news to cover tonight. Surprisingly, shockingly, and we're going to do our best at making that happen. But on the other side of the review of Agatha, we're finding out something interesting about Lucasfilm. I don't think anybody else is talking about it yet, and we're very happy to bring it to your attention. Hang tight, we'll get there. First, though, Jonas, the super chats.
Yep, let's get to it right here. Go and Shogi gifted 1 WDW Pro membership. Thank you very much, Go and Shogi. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yep. SFX Sabertooth Raptor for $5. Good evening, WDW Pro, Jonas, and Casino Man. I like that. That was one of my favorite Brendan Fraser movies. So how much clams will Snow lose? Will it give Indiana a run for which loses the most, to be or not to be? Okay,
this is gonna shut Indiana Jones out. It's gonna.
Yeah, this will take the crown.
Yeah,
Indy came in at 400. Indy came in at $400 million on its budget. I think, is that right, Jonas? 400 million-ish.
Reported. I don't know where
it was reported. It was reported at. We got to really remember now. It was reported at 323. You and Valiant discovered it went up to 338. I think.
Yeah.
But then you throw in
so far 410 so far. And that's as of maybe April of 2023. So,
okay, and so
maybe.
But Marvel's the Marvels is actually the biggest flop. Marvel's lost more than Indy last time we tallied.
Well,
and
so as of the actual cost of the actual film, it was $402.3 million in production budget
for Indy.
Yeah.
Okay, and do we have the Marvel's numbers?
The diaper of dysentery, that was in the 325 range. Let me double check.
306 million pounds on that one.
Let's double check.
Sabretooth Raptor, you've sent us now. This is what happens when you ask investigators what to do with it. But I'll say this: so the reason Snow White has a chance of beating both of those films for biggest flop of all time is because we have heard, though we cannot yet corroborate, that after 3 reshoots and completely removing the dirty hippies and replacing them with CGI monstrosities that make the original Sonic model look good, this film might be headed for a $500 million production budget. So that's why it has a shot of being the biggest flop.
Marvel's was reportedly $274.8 million. It grossed $206 million worldwide. It received $55 million in subsidy from the UK government.
I think that's low. I think there was.
Oh no, I think it was 325 plus if we after we calculated it all in. But that's just production budget that I'm quoting, Pro. I'm not talking. Yeah.
We need to do another investigation because we need to definitively say which one was the bigger flop. I was under the impression Marvel's had beat out Indy.
Okay, but the statement as of the end of September 2023, and again, these are where all these numbers come from, is Company's House, was the total cost came in at $378.5 million as of the end of September 2023. The number drops to $325.3 million after the tax credits are paid out.
So there you go. Folks, we'll watch and see. But yes, because of the bloated budget of 3 reshoots and new CGI models and all the backgrounds that have to come along with that, could be one of the most expensive films. Actually, it would approach Rise of Skywalker, because Rise of Skywalker was over $500 million.
Yeah, Rinse of Soybeans was one of the most expensive lattes anybody's ever had. So.
Yep, indeed.
All right. JPS for $5. I am so upset Keanu didn't get the role as Snow White. I am mad, I tell you. Mad.
Yeah, a guy coming up on his 60s definitely could have played Snow White.
Dude.
Well, let's get real. If they come out and say Snow White will be played by Keanu Reeves, nobody of any...
That's a $1 billion movie.
That's a very
nobody of any
Snow
skin
White.
color, nobody of any gender is going to look at that and be mad. We're all just going to raise one eyebrow and go, huh.
Could you imagine the magic mirror, though? The magic mirror going, we call him Baba Yaga. It means fairest of them all.
That's why we've got you, Marvin. That's why we've got you.
J Murph for $5. They didn't hire a woman to play Snow White. They hired a teenager failing to act like an adult. Yeah,
bingo.
They even reference that theater kid energy.
The other thing they did is they hired there's a young actress they hired. I can't remember her name right now, but they brought her in for additional screen time.
Yeah, to play the young version of Snow White, the little girl version. Yeah. She's talented.
Oh my gosh, very, very. I saw her, saw some of her audition stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Gory-Eyed Beast for $2 Canadian. Next, Rachel will drop a gyrating diss track, right? Oh, let's hope not. Actually, she'd probably get out the guitar. Okay, so I'm going to say this. Rachel Zegler does actually have musical talent.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Hunger Games, mind you, I went and saw the prequel. It wasn't half bad. It wasn't half good. But she actually has a beautiful voice. She's very talented.
Can she produce a music video on location in 3 days just off the cuff, like Amandla
That's a good point. And edited.
Indeed.
Tennille89, thank you for your 10th super chat for $5. Look, if there's a market for Jim Sterling, no accounting for taste, I guess, then there's probably a market for anything, but good luck making me buy it. Welcome to the Jimquisition, Tennille89 for $2 more. Bad punctuation penance. You never have to do that, Tennille89. Thank you very much.
Tennille was on fire over at that game place today. Woof.
He was. Yes,
he was. The chat was aflame.
Yep. Going Shogi for $4.99. Toxic Disney fans, aka potential Lightning Lane customers. This will surely drive people to the parks at Universal.
I will say that, Jonas, I believe there are such a thing as toxic Disney fans, but they're the toxically positive ones, the ones that attack anyone that criticizes the company in any way, shape, or form, the ones who screamed and hollered when they put metal detectors at security because it hurts the magic.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the toxic positivity at Disney is overflowing. We often call them pixie dusters.
Cupcakers, yeah.
I call them I call them pixie dust sniffers, because holy cow.
Yep. Some of them are heavy dosage.
And last super chat for a moment, and then we've got a little surprise. 365 Ral for $5. She falsely accused Walt of promoting abuse with Snow White. The prince literally stalks her. She's the nuclear plant calling the kettle toxic. Yeah, having watched Snow White a few times since those comments, I'm going to say that if anything is mischaracterized, it's her comments about Snow White. Here's a good one. Heesel 77 for $2. Mustache Law states it's always a guy, never a woman. Mustache Law. But there is someone I want to ask about Mustache Law. Someone who has always an impeccable mustache.
A mustache.
A mustache and a question. Polly, welcome to the channel.
Woohoo!
Hey, Polly.
Hey, WD, can you guys hear me?
We can
hear you.
It's a little light.
How is it? How is it on Mars?
I'll take a Whopper with cheese and.
Yeah. The audio's a little fuzzy, but it's okay.
A little tinny is how we would sometimes put it. A little high on the treble, a little low on the bottom.
Okay, how's that?
That's better.
That's perfect.
All right, we switched from the car, went just straight to the iPhone. What's up, everybody?
What's up, Polly? Polly, I heard you have some thoughts on the Zegler situation, particularly the Variety article that came out where there's some new stuff talking about a new origin story for the Snow White character and sort of reframing what the disdain is all about. So what are you thinking about this whole thing, Polly, and how do you think it's going to affect the box office?
Well, like you guys, I jumped on early this morning and talked about it. I read the article and reacted to it. And then, because, it's right up the alley of our channel. And, we've been following, look out, they're coming to get me. La migra, ahí viene.
There's a Hispanic man sitting in a car outside my house. Officer, help!
I'm in a parking lot at the movie theater. I just got out of Joker 2.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Polly.
That's a whole different discussion.
I apologize, Polly. I sympathize. I empathize.
It's pretty unbelievable, and the political bent of the writer certainly didn't help at all.
No.
At all. The timing of this is as you guys know, they just finished a week of what do you call it when you're not fully open on Broadway? You're just doing
well, for the audience out there, they're going to think of it as the final rehearsals.
Rehearsals.
Dress rehearsals.
Her Broadway debut where she's playing Romeo and Juliet. And so that's the timing of this. And it's called the New York issue where, she's on the cover, that's why there's a big photo shoot of her and all that stuff. Listen, it's just getting harder and harder to defend. Oh, but she's very talented. It's like you don't even care anymore. This is really bad. And there's some good points, some things that I liked in the article that I did talk about. But for the main, the main guts of it was just, what are you doing, Rachel? You're not only opening up, this can of worms with the OG Snow White fans. You're making it worse. You didn't.
Polly, what did you think of the timing, though, Polly? Because, and we haven't talked about this on the channel very much. She makes some geopolitical statements regarding conflict in the Middle East, and I just thought, maybe they should have held this article because it came within 12 hours of the missile barrage, and I thought you could not do worse on timing than this article in spectacular ways.
Well, that's a whole different conversation. And I brought that up, how now a year later, we went from Spyglass firing and defaming Melissa Barrera for her beliefs in regards to Palestine a year ago, October 7th. And she doesn't go after fans. It's just like, hey, these are just my feelings on a ceasefire. She was out. Scream, you're gone. Another movie, you're gone. To now, it's like it's in vogue. That's what I said in my video, where it's like it's just in vogue right now in Hollywood. Everyone now is, free Palestine. And my thing with Rachel, my advisement was that, you know what? If you believe in a cause that much, why don't you give money for like a couple of years and do it anonymously. Just shut up and do it anonymously. No one cares. If you really care, just turn off social media for a year and do stuff out of the kindness of your heart anonymously, because no one believes your authenticity at all, because you're lacking. And that's what you guys were bringing up with.
It feels as if she's latching on to what she perceives to be in vogue, and it's costing 3/4 of the country the box office for Snow White. So that's not going to be all right. Polly, though, you said you just got out of Joker 2. I don't want to steal the opportunity for you to review it for your folks out there, but could you just tell us, give us a flavor of how you feel?
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a flavor, but I sent Jonas a link to the actor that was the finalist between Rachel and this woman for Snow White, and this is the woman that should have gotten the role.
Yeah, I'm gonna play your video. I'm gonna keep the audio down, but
that's just me interviewing.
I had no idea we had this.
Keep the audio up.
The audio is fine.
You get a flavor for her, for how warm and amazing she is on a red carpet. This was last month that we got to. It was a quick interview.
Yeah, she is brilliant.
But also not bad looking either.
It's beautiful. That's what you want.
Well, she seems to be incredible. I will have to watch the link. And Lauren, if you could get the link out of the private chat, Jonas dropped that private chat link, and then we'll get that out to the public for them to be able to go view this over on Latino Slant. Fantastic.
I want everyone in the chat, all you guys on the panel, to just check her out later. Incredible talent, and that look at she's on a red carpet. She doesn't know what I'm gonna say. It's not like she's got the warmth and the love and the friendliness. You don't get any of that with Rachel. Any of that.
And so you're saying that this young lady was the other finalist for getting the role of Snow White?
Correct. Which is why this was what they said with Webb, the director, isn't really telling the whole truth in that Variety article. Because it was down to her and Rachel.
Well, now I'm not aware of this, Polly. Was that in the casting call? Do you know? Did you ask her? Were there any criteria they were looking for?
The criteria, and she has said this before, and over a year ago in an interview in Spanish. That's how I discovered her. When she did a podcast in Mexico. She's been in the recent Saw in Mexico. She's in 2 movies right now. She's fine. She's gonna have a great career. You guys need to check her out. She said it was open to all types, which is a fail-safe way of saying casting wants to see someone of color. Mm-hmm. That's my experience with Romy working in the business. Whenever you see that's what they mean. And usually, the other third one was an African American woman.
Well, that is fascinating stuff. Polly, do we have permission to run with that in the future? Is that okay with you? Okay.
Of course. Look up Renata Vaca. She's an incredible talent. You see that face. She's got that angelic face.
Absolutely. Well, she's an angel in comparison to Zegler, and I don't even know her.
She looks like somebody that a magic mirror could actually tell Gal Gadot, no, this girl is the fairest of them all, not you.
Well, yeah, and listen, they're both tan, right? They're both very Latina, and the thing is that there's a way with courting your audience and just saying, you know what, you're on the red carpet. Look at guys, I love Snow White. As you can tell, we're doing a different take just because I'm Snow White, but you guys are gonna love it. Give it a chance. Check it out next year. You're gonna love the music, and we love the OG, and that's all you gotta say. And there would be no toxicity, no negativity coming from anyone, because it'd be like, all right, I'll check you out. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Paulie, I know you haven't had the chance to suffer through Agatha, some of our panelists are on a time limit here. We've got to do an Agatha review, but we would love for you to stick around if you can, and if not, drive home safely. But what would be your preference here? Do you want to stick around and hang out with us, or?
No, I got to jump off. If there's a Joker question, I'll be glad to. We're doing reviews on the Joker, non-spoiler and spoiler, but whatever you want right now, buddy.
Holly, why don't you just admit that you're about to get out of the car, go back in the theater, and watch it for another round? You just can't get enough.
No, he won't.
He's gone gaga for Joker.
No, he hasn't. Nobody in their right mind is going gaga for Joker.
Lady Gaga. I kept thinking, why is she in this? And she was underutilized, but also too, Margot. There's not anything special that Margot Robbie could not have done. But I thought the first 20 minutes was something very unique. I'm like, okay, I'm really digging this. But that was more of the Arkham relationships between the guards, Brendan Gleeson and Joaquin, that I thought was very interesting. It just, once they started singing, it just got worse. And it's not that the songs are bad. It's not that the productions are bad. Visually, it's a beautiful film. It's just why are they trying to make this a musical where you're emoting, where when you're singing, the character is singing their conflict, singing their what they want in particular scene. I get it. I know musical theater, but this ain't it. And
that's not good for a musical.
No,
because if the musical audience picks up on that, they will watch it forever and ever on repeat.
I like the music. I liked a lot. I liked, but I double hated the ending because there's two quick endings that were just
yeah. So the question I had for you, Paulie, I wanted to shout out the LatinoSlant.com for everybody to check out. Did you see The Wild Robot? Is this your review, or is this someone from the site?
That is Rosa Parra's amazing review, and I also did see the movie as well.
I love that movie. Right now, I'm telling you, it's a classic already.
It's probably top three films of the year for me.
Can either of you or both of you explain why nobody's going to see it?
It had 50 million in the box office on its first weekend. What are you talking about?
That thing should be like performing much better than that.
Because they didn't advertise it. I mean,
it's a weird time. It's a weird time to release these movies because the kids are back in school.
Yeah.
These are family films, Transformer 1 and Wild Robot. They're really incredible films. We had one of the actors on from Transformers 2 nights ago, played Shockwave. He's amazing.
Was that John Bailey?
No, Jason Gonopios Alvarez. And he was just so much fun. But Wild Robot is that's on another level good. I think I cried a couple times.
I went to go watch that. I watched it with the kids, and like all of the kids are still talking about the movie, and not just like, that was funny, but like actually talking about what happened in the movie. And I'm like, okay.
I got to tell you, with Wild Robot, it really made me envious of Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
What a celebration of parenthood and family that Wild Robot is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fantastic stuff. And
thank
Paulie,
you for deviating. Yeah, I took over Pro Stream there for a second to talk about Wild Robot again.
I appreciate you letting me come on and talk Rachel and talk.
Well, we always love having you on, Paulie, and hopefully we can get you back on real soon. It's been a while for the Pro Show, so maybe let's take a look at the calendar and see what we can do. Thanks so much for stopping by, Paulie, and we're wishing you very, very well.
Thank you, panel. Sorry for taking your time. Much love to everyone in the chat. Latino Slant. LatinoSlant.com. Keep it fuerte. Gracias.
There you go. And Paulie did not take our time. He gifted his time to us. So, folks, thank you again. Muchísimas gracias, Paulie. Until the next time.
Igualmente.
He's a good man.
All right, folks. It is time now to go to the Agatha review. You've been waiting on it. Here we are. And then we've got two big stories after this, including a Lucasfilm story that is breaking today. And apparently not anybody else is connecting the dots. We're about to. All right, so who wants to do the recap of what happened? We've given a brief one. Jonas, can you give us a rundown of what occurred in the episode?
I've already started to forget.
I can do this very quickly.
Please go
Lauren,
ahead.
knock it out.
Did you see the last episode?
Yeah,
we did it again.
Then you saw this episode.
That's
There
well
you
said.
go.
It's
definitely,
another escape room.
It was definitely a, oh my goodness, how am I back here again on multiple levels? Because it was the same as the last episode, but it also had another musical number in it.
But still the same
Now,
musical number somehow.
Despite giving it that description, I think that my reaction to this episode is going to surprise you all.
All right. Well, we'll get there in just a moment. So Miss Hart is dead. We get Agatha's Agony's old lover, who is now her arch nemesis. She comes into the fold out of nowhere, and in one of those situations where all the witches are looking at what to do, and one of them says, "Hey, let's do this thing that we've never told the audience we can do, but we all know we can do, and we could have done at any point." And would have also, by the way, meant we didn't have to do the Mrs. Hart thing. And they all go, "Oh yeah, let's do that thing." So then they summon the arch nemesis, and then that leads them into a 1970s studio house where they realize that if they don't sing, then something's going to burn their shoulders worse than a 12-hour trip to Daytona Beach without sunscreen. And that's the episode, folks. That's what you got. Guys, am I missing anything?
Not really.
You forgot Disney diving into demonic stuff.
All right, we've got the
there was
bouncy
a demon
demon
that showed up.
He's a disco demon.
They did
No.
they did the thing that the Lopez's did with WandaVision, and they played the same song but with different chords as to reharmonize it a little bit. But
well, it's hard to write new lyrics.
It's actually musically kind of impressive to reharmonize a song, especially there is some craftsmanship there. I'm still not going to give this episode a good rating. I'll give the Lopez's a pat on the back for that.
I like that when the demon showed up.
Vocals were meh.
And it was finally like an actual threat for them to face, where like we could have had like some kind of cool, like, magic battle. They just defeated it with the power of their rock.
All right. Well, I mean, it was technically
which didn't win over the audience. That's what makes it the worst thing. Like,
but it was technically the power of many.
Yes, power
God,
of many.
It was terrible.
The only way for that episode to work is if they were truly rocking, and that's still weird, but they weren't. It wasn't great, and because of that, it's even more embarrassing.
How do you not have Patti LuPone be the one to sing? You have Patti LuPone in this show, and you keep making Catherine Hahn sing.
I do have a question. There's some moment in which Catherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza's characters are talking in a sound booth. For some reason, there's a sound booth, by the way.
It's a recording house.
Right. But that isn't necessarily apparent right at the start?
Yeah. It's a 70s house with the living room full of musical equipment.
Yeah. There's something that's said in there that gets broadcast into the room. I didn't quite catch what was said there. What exactly was said?
Oh, just how evil. I mean, Catherine Hahn put her hand on the microphone that was in the sound booth so that everybody outside the sound booth could hear what was being said in the room, and had what's her name? Aubrey Plaza's character, the Green Witch.
Rio
basically,
Vidal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you remember that? The show is so forgettable. Anyway.
I remembered it because her name is Rio and she dances on the sand. That's literally the device in my head that I used to remember that.
And it's probably the device they used to invent the name. So fair enough.
Okay, but regardless, she's just basically breaking down the fact that, she's claiming that Catherine Hahn's character kills witches, but then they talk about what she took away from her and what her plan is for all the others. And that kind of exposed both of them at the same time. And then she get the last word in before she took her hand off the button, that, what are you talking about? That's my coven. And then
it also confirmed a leak that came out about Aubrey Plaza's character. I don't know if you guys saw this. The identity of who Rio Vidal is in the Marvel universe has come out.
Is it Mephisto?
No. Apparently, it is. Do you want me to tell you? It is a spoiler.
Who cares? Tell us.
Please go
apparently,
ahead.
I saw an article. I'm doing a video on it soon. but apparently on a Funko Pop, it came out that she is Mistress Death.
Really?
Yeah.
That was legit. I thought that was fake.
Was that fake? I don't know. I saw it briefly, and I told myself I
I'm
had to
not
look
saying
more into it. But it made sense with her being like, "I want my bodies."
At this point, you could have told me Mystique, and I would have said, who cares? I mean, that's how strange things have gotten. Now, guys, the other part about this too. Go ahead, Lauren. I see your face. You've got something. What do you?
If it is Lady Death, I mean, she doesn't speak, and so that kind of bothers me a little bit.
Well,
She
she's
sings now,
also
Lauren.
not whoever it is that Thanos is in love with either. So
okay.
I mean,
by the way, it was on Forbes that I saw the thing, so I'm assuming it's true.
You weren't shopping for the Funko Pops. We get what you're trying to say there. It wasn't you that was looking at these things.
Okay.
I wasn't questioning you. I was just thinking that's lame.
Yeah, and that theory is all over the place, and Lauren already pointed out the difficulty with the comic lore now, not to mention the fact that, I guess she said the right thing, that she has a black heart that beats. But,
so she's like Dick Cheney.
I do like the casting. If you were going to cast Lady Death, then Aubrey Plaza, I don't disagree with the casting there.
I think I broke
No, it was funny. You startled
I can
me.
tell when Jonas leaves his microphone so that he can snicker in the background there.
He has to gather himself.
Well, they are in the woods, so they better look out.
That's right.
Okay.
Just be careful if she asks them to
go.
go duck hunting.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, okay. So the end of the episode. We get to the end of the episode, and Billy.
You had backmasking in this. Demon, backmasking, all kinds of, bad juju.
Yep. And Billy gets hurt, and Agatha cares, but Billy's not her son, according to Green Witchy Witch, who is apparently Deathy Death.
She also says, "Where's my bodies?"
Yeah, that's why I think it's true that she's Death.
How? You're
breaking. Let the bodies hit the floor at some point in the show, please.
Okay, so I'm just going to say I don't know
done.
anything about how witches work in Marvel. Is there something about green witches that's supposed to have something to do with death?
Neither does Marvel.
Weird. green witches are not death.
They're supposed to be like.
Well, it's Earth.
Agricultural.
Earth, and where do you put a body? Typically when it's dead, you put it in the earth. So
do these follow the same rules as wizards in Middle Earth? I need a primer here.
Well, I mean, what?
Are the blue witches really confusing and no one actually knows what they do?
Don't ask the people at Amazon because they don't know.
They don't know.
All right. Well, Lauren has a smile like he's going to unleash on us. Lauren, I'm going to give you the honor of giving us your review, and then we'll go to the others for the review. You say you've got a counter thought to what many are going to believe. So tell us what you thought having watched this latest episode.
I think Jonas is rubbing off on me a little bit.
This
is still it's still a bad show, right? But I actually kind of liked this episode because of two reasons. One is that I think when Aubrey Plaza shows up, she elevates everybody else on the show.
Yes,
Suddenly people started acting like we're not just reading words from a script. We're actually starting to act like real characters. And that was something that I noticed that I thought was good.
Because
Also,
she's an ensemble actor, Lauren. She is a professional at it. She makes everybody better. She brings everybody to elevates their game because of what she does. She is the best character to bounce off of. She is an active participant.
and she looked like she was having fun. And actually that made the show better. The other thing that I liked is that this was the first episode where I felt like they fully embraced the camp. It's like they bought into the 70s vibe. They did these zoom in shots. They did split screens. They did all of that stuff. I actually think if the musical number had been better, if they really were rocking, you could have sold this kind of like Jack Black in School of Rock. Yeah.
Well,
And I think that could have worked, because then you've got, you do the album cover thing and you play it in with the demon that shows up. That had they actually pulled off the musical number and maybe not, I think, botched the ending of the episode like they did, I think this actually would have been a good episode. As it stands, if you don't mind me giving my score early, I'm going to give this one a 4, which I think
4 out of 10.
That's far more generous than what I've been in the other episodes. I think so far this was the best episode of the show.
4 out of 10 and the best yet. Culture?
I like Lorne, I enjoyed the Rock of Ages moment that was almost there. I think that would have been amazing had they actually embraced it, kind of like Tom Cruise did, the camp of that particular performance that he delivered in that film. Catherine Hahn, no matter what anybody says, she's a great actress. She has a lot of skills. She certainly can pull things off. But Aubrey Plaza,
well, we saw that in the second episode,
right? Yeah, a little bit more lady butt than I probably wanted to see ever. But wait a
minute, culture. Did you just never mind? I'm not gonna
ever.
No, ever.
I mean, lights are off normally. Anyway, back to the conversation. You're gonna get me in trouble. She's in the other room.
Mrs. Culture has the weapon outside of frame, folks. You just can't see it.
Well, I hope not. That the Glock doesn't have an actual safety. Anyway, okay, so no, I'm with Lorne. This is the best episode so far, so I'm going to give it a 3.
All right, he gives it a 3. Marvin, what say you?
You know what? I would have to say Aubrey Plaza did elevate this episode. I do enjoy every moment that she is here. However, I'm going to be a little more harsh than Lorne. But I'm also going to agree with my friend Culture Casino. I am going to give it a 3 out of 10.
Oh.
All right, Jonas.
I don't know. This is pretty boring, and generally I can get into it a little bit when they put a little music in there. I'm focused on different things at that point, but I feel like Catherine Hahn actually kind of killed it on Agatha All Along, the song Agatha All Along, but it's a tighter song, and this Witch's Road song. Yeah, she's the vocalist on Agatha All Along, the song, which they have not sung in this series so far, which if you're going to make an entire series because of a meme, I don't understand why you don't go for that. Yeah, probably. So everyone misunderstands my scores, so I think I'm doing them wrong. So I'm giving this show a thumbs down.
I will interpret that as a 3. Thank you, Jonas.
Thank you.
And I will say that this episode to me felt like if you took the movie Heavy Metal and combined that with a drug-induced Partridge Family, and then said, how about some hocus pocus in the middle of all that? Well, you would get what this is, with a heavy dosage of boredom. And because I was utterly bored, and because I know that I would not watch this ever were I not reviewing it, I'm giving it a 2.5. And gentlemen, that means that Agatha episode, what is this, 4?
Yep. They really do bleed together.
All right. We give it a 3.1, ladies and gentlemen. 3.1 is our score for Agatha episode 4. 3.1 out of 10.
Can I,
Jonas?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Only if they've synced their cycle.
Oh. At this point, they have. But I look. I mean,
better pray there are no bears on the Witch's Road.
Every fourth episode, we're gonna have just super bitchy witchies. Anyway,
what if there are floating sharks?
Culture, what has gotten into you tonight?
I don't know. I'm in a mood. This wasn't good on my psyche. The demon showing up was like, okay, this is Disney Plus. Let's throw in a demon.
And it's not like a Tenacious D demon where it's like, oh, here's a kooky. Maybe he's a little large, but it was like a dirty looking.
Yeah, it was an evil demon. Like you was
like a Hellboy demon. His twitchy tail is not this kind of demon.
Yeah. This is Constantine level demon. This is no bueno. This is not something that belongs at Disney. So
It's also in the trailers for the show too. So I don't know if it's in the ads too.
The demon?
Yeah, the demon, which I had assumed it was Aubrey Plaza's character.
Okay, here's something for you guys to do.
I remember seeing it in the. Oh God, sorry, bro.
Well, just throw this out at you. Take any of the other Marvel characters from the original three faces and put them into this show, and see if it ever works. Because it doesn't. You can't take any of the other characters and put them in this. This isn't the same universe. I don't know what this is. It's not Marvel.
I'm trying to think at which point the MCU would actually be compatible with this. And even at Doctor Strange, magic is still supposed to be like the source code of the universe. It's not. They're still not in witch magic at that point. So yeah. There are some characters that it would be interesting to put in this situation, but it would only be for contrast.
You can't see Steve Rogers going down the Witch's Road, Jonas.
Oh, it'd be hilarious. That would be but I'm also the one who wanted to see Rocket Raccoon and Steve Rogers planning a battle together, and they're two completely incompatible styles. The straightforward win with strategy and the completely ends justify the means evil little raccoon, morally flexible raccoon. That is what I wanted to see in the MCU, not Agatha plus a bunch of witches, no matter what their credits might be on this. By the way, you guys might not know this, but the Potions Witch, she's got comedy specials on Netflix. You wouldn't know she's a comedian based on the fact that she's in this show.
The comedy in this show is the worst thing about this show. Jack Schaefer clearly thinks that she's very, very funny, and she's not. You cannot write comedy if you are not a funny person, and nobody involved in this production is apparently funny because the jokes fall incredibly flat. Not one thing even made me crack a smile.
Wait a minute. Nearly Bald Witch is a comedian?
Yes, she is a comedian. She has comedy specials coming out on Netflix, and she has comedy specials already existing on Netflix. There's part of me that wonders, is she actually funny and they're just completely underutilizing her here? Guess who did an interview with this actress and how I discovered this? Alyssa Mercante did an interview with this actress, and I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. Let's see where this goes. And then she was talking about her comedy specials. I just threw in a much more witch-like name into this one, didn't I?
Did you notice the one thing that we learned about every single character on the show in this episode is that they're all at least a little bit gay?
Yeah, I think that's how witches work in Hollywood, isn't it? Isn't it?
All right. If you follow like NXIVM or something, but anyway.
That would explain the witch season of Smallville. Anyways, let's get to Super Chats. Hawaii Dragon Star for $5. What's next? Drug dealers suing because we don't want to buy their product. Where do they teach this point of view? I believe this is a Rachel Zegler comment, but it could be a Marvel comment at this point.
Well, if it's a female selling said items, she could just declare to the police, "You're misogynist," and clearly they'll let her go.
Jack Straw from Wichita for $2. Lauren, show me where Pro hurt you. Use this doll.
I think Lauren and I have a good time when we're on streams together.
Okay, Lauren and I are planning an amazing stream or two.
Did Lauren just claim he did an elbow drop on me?
No, it was
that red mark on my forehead came from?
No, it was the knitting needle scar.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, come on, guys.
I think he's just saying that you hit him in the funny bone.
Louis Messina gifted one WDW Pro membership. Thank you very much, Louis Messina.
Thank you.
Brandon, member for 11. At least we have football to watch instead of this. You got Wednesday night football? That seems like it'd be a better watch. John Maynor coming in here, gifting 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you very much, John Maynor.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you know what? We'll play the ad. It's been a while. John, you're included in this one.
Hello there and hi there from Quick Buck Comics. We've been watching as companies like Disney, Warner Brothers, and Universal all universally suck. And then we watched as companies like Rippaverse and Big Man Comics came in to save the day. That's when we realized we could make crappy comics and do it the cheap way by not doing the hard work that Rippaverse and Big Man Comics were doing. We've got characters like John Maynard, William Thompson, and Staccato DDS. Why? Because we stole them from the WDW Pro audience. Because making characters is hard. And by the end of every comic, you get to draw your own panels. Why? Because art is hard. But please, folks, when you're done, make sure to buy our coffee that's made by someone else with our label slapped on it. Why? You guessed it. Making coffee is hard.
All right. Jonas, does that complete our super chats?
Yes, it does. Unless you want me to make up one. Here's one from Larry for $832. The sticky
I like
stuff
Larry
on the stairs tastes funny. Please replace it.
You know what else tastes funny? A documentary that suddenly goes into limited theatrical run. Let's talk about it. This is very interesting, and I'm glad we're getting this in before we lose Lorne. Folks, hang tight. This is the kind of story you are not hearing anywhere else until now. All right, this is out of thatparkplace.com. If you're not yet bookmarked to it, well, you should be. Disney documentary Music by John Williams could be Kathleen Kennedy's final box office film. And this article, although it's by me, is heavily edited by John Trent, and gladly so. He is undoubtedly the most prolific and storied movie composer of the last half-century. Now, John Williams is receiving the theatrical and streaming ovation he so richly deserves. The Walt Disney Company is offering a chance to enjoy a look back at the master of soundtracks, the triumphant genius behind so much of what we hear when we think of the characters we love. According to a press release from the Walt Disney Company, the documentary is a shared production between Lucasfilm, Amblin, and Imagine Documentaries, and will offer a fascinating and insightful look at the prolific life and career of composer and Disney legend John Williams. It specifically reveals that the film will receive a limited theatrical release in New York, Los Angeles, and London on November 1st, as well as premiering on Disney's streaming service, Disney+. Now, that is very, very interesting to have a limited theatrical release on the same day that it hits streaming. And that's very interesting, too, because I was not aware that this was going to get a theatrical release. Now, to show you this is out of Disney Plus News, but Disney Plus News says that Elton John, Never Too Late, is also going to get a theatrical release. But as you can see in this, it's not going to be at the same time as the streaming. So Elton John, Never Too Late will come out on streaming on December 13th. Let's scroll down, and I think we can find this in here. Theatrical, November 15th. So November 15th is when it will get its theatrical run, very limited, but a theatrical run November 15th. It waits until December 13th to go to Disney+. That is not the case here. And guys, I think what has happened is that Disney has decided to make this not be a Disney Plus exclusive, but to put it out limited. And I would say that it's interesting to me that this is a joint venture between essentially Lucasfilm and Amblin, which means that it's a joint venture between Kathleen Kennedy and her wife. Now, what this also means is that if
Kathleen
it is
Kennedy
true,
and her wife?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Kathleen Kennedy and her husband. Sorry, Mr.
There you go.
Marshall.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it's 2024. Come on, get with it.
Well,
But
That's an Anita Sarkeesian level love relationship right there.
so let me recompose myself, which, yes, that's a pun intended. This would be so Kathleen Kennedy doesn't have another film, as far as we know, coming out from Lucasfilm until 2026. It's a long time. She'll be 73 when The Mandalorian and Grogu comes out. She might still be there, but there's a solid chance, even if she gets a contract extension this year, that she's not. And that means this could genuinely be the last box office run she has, at least at Lucasfilm. And not only that, gentlemen, but I suspect that this was moved from being a Disney Plus exclusive to it being a limited theatrical run to give Kathleen a chance at some significant awards and award shows. So, guys, we'll start with Lorne, because I know he's a little bit limited. Lorne, your thoughts on this latest development out of Lucasfilm?
I guess I don't have any really solid thoughts. I think you're probably right that this is intended to be award bait, because it's certainly not going to drive the box office because it's a limited release. I think people will be interested in going to see it, and justifiably should be. John Williams is going to be an amazing subject, and I think that it's great that they've finally put together some kind of a documentary on his contributions to Hollywood. But I guess that's my only real thoughts on it. I don't think this is. I saw some people in the comments saying that this is intended to be her big win that she can go off on. I don't think that's the intention, because as a box office draw, because it's a limited release, it won't pull in giant numbers, especially if it's releasing on streaming at the same time. But if you're looking for some award bait, then that may make some sense.
And I will. Go ahead.
What if that big win is the awards, though? Because Disney is really trying to praise Dana Walden a lot with all the Emmy Awards and things like that don't make them any money. In fact, they cost them a lot of money. And I don't know. I end up wishing that Lou was here so we could talk about the process of getting a major award in Hollywood. It's
all
done.
Right, fine. We'll call Lou.
By campaigning and basically bribing these people into giving you an award. Now they still have the vote when it comes down to it, but I wonder if this is going to be a very expensive campaign on the level that a certain disgraced producer that no longer belongs in Hollywood would have done in order to get this woman her big moment on stage so that they can say, thank you, Kathleen. Kindly leave.
But ultimately, it's a documentary. It's not like it's going to compete in multiple categories. I could see it winning 1 or 2 awards, but I can't see it like cleaning house. That I think would be
that
a tough
lowers
sell.
the stakes, though. If you're campaigning in an under-campaigned category to say, please, I'm begging you, look at that Frank Marshall over there. You see how miserable he is.
This has to win.
You see how often she comes home and talks about the Star Wars fans. Look at how miserable Frank is right now. He's he had hair when this started.
The thing is, do you remember when they had the big Indiana Jones thing on the stage and they had all those
it was
people
awkward.
there? They said there's one person that we have to talk about that is really the soul of this entire franchise, and it's John Williams. And you could see the look on Kathleen's face.
Yeah,
and Frank comforting her.
You watched her soul drain from her body at that moment. You were like, oh. Yeah, it wasn't you.
Well, let me show you guys this, and that was interesting because those things are almost always completely scripted, top to bottom. So, Marvin, let me get your thoughts on this. As soon as I say, here are the interviews that are going to be part of the documentary. I think you'll find some of them fascinating. We've got Steven Spielberg, Brian Grazer, Ron Howard, Daryl Frank, Justin Falvey, Sarah Bernstein, Justin Wilkes, Meredith Kalfers, Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall, Laurent Bazereau, and Marcus Keith with Michael Rosenberg. They're the executive producers there. But these are going to be some of the individuals who actually show up in it. But look at the production on this. You've got these people showing up in that, but you've also got all of these producers listed. These are some big names that are in that list of producers, and it only adds to the feeling that this really is significant award bait. Like, these are the kinds of names that you put them on there on the producer list, and you just automatically get a trophy.
How many of those people that are going to be in this documentary are also in the Academy?
All of them
on the award selection for this.
Let's go to Marvin, though. We've not heard from Marvin. I know he's tried to get in several times.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting all over the place on this one.
Cut him out.
I'm seeing deception, and it's gotten me curious.
What's got into you, Jonas? I don't know. What this whole show? What's been going on?
Yeah, Jonas, you've been aggressive, pal. You need to calm down. You need to mellow a little. Get on that witch's road, okay? Sing it out.
He just needs to do another Everything Woke About episode.
Indeed.
I would love to have the time to do that. Pro?
Marvin? I'm going back to Marvin.
I am honestly outraged. I'm completely outraged. I cannot believe that they are casting a straight white man as the main character of this movie. Isn't it time we had a reimagining of John Williams for a modern audience?
All right, you've heard it here, folks. Marvin is campaigning for Zegler to play John Williams in Music by John Williams documentary.
I would like to say that Laurent Bazereau is a great documentarian. He has what I consider to be the best encapsulation of every version of the Star Wars scripts. That was Star Wars, the annotated screenplays. So if you're into that Yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, get that book.
There you go. That's the kind of stuff you find out right here on this channel, folks. All right, guys, girls, any final thoughts on this one before we?
By the
way, there are no girls on the panel.
Marvin, do you have something to talk about?
That's all right. I'm everybody's punching bag tonight. No, I'm kidding. I find that I tend to skip these Disney documentaries because I know it's going to have such a rose-colored view of history. Like I didn't even watch the Henson one, and everyone keeps telling me that I should, the one Ron Howard directed. So I don't know. I feel like I can't get excited for something like this, even though it's somebody that I truly admire, because right there, that's gonna be all over it.
Marvin, she's getting her moment now. Look at her. Look at the lighting on her. Isn't she lovely?
No.
That's a winning look right there.
No.
You guys remember in The Mandalorian that when it was really popular, those first 2 seasons, and they would do those how it was made segments with Favreau sitting around at a table, or round chairs,
Yes.
and Kathleen would just sit there and blink, and you could tell she's like, Favreau's the boss here. Just what do you got, Kathy? You want to say something? Go ahead, get it out. All right, we're moving on. That's how those felt. Maybe that's what we get here too. I don't know. I just randomly clicked, and here it happened to be. It's Kathy. It's Kathy.
I'm going to say that her plastic surgeon is really good.
How dare you? How dare you question?
When you pulled this up, Pro, I was
dermatological vitality.
Like, there's no way you hit play on this thing right here, considering all of the music that has to be in this trailer.
No. Listen, they don't call me Pro for nothing. I know how to get around these things. Remember when who was it who put out the trailer that it was flat out just bait? Oh, it was Amandla. Amandla put out that whatever that rap thing was she did.
Yeah,
and
the diss tracks.
Some of our friends played it on
Got
their YouTube
tagged.
channels, and I was like, no, she planned it. It's the Trojan horse. How did you not see this coming? She's got a team ready to strike you. Oh me. We would never give Disney the opportunity, at least not knowingly. All right. Well, I know we're going to be losing Lorne soon. Lorne, how much more time you got with us, buddy?
I can go another 3 or 4 minutes if you need me.
Can you give us 5? I'm kidding. Lorne, it's been a good time having you on the channel. We've got a super chat down here for you. Go ahead and read it, Jonas.
Ryan Matheson for 199. Tell us what you and Lauren have planned, Culture.
We're doing a charity thing where the suffering will be exquisite.
Oh, that charity thing.
Should we talk a little bit about that for the audience?
I think I'm going to have to go before we do that, though. So, Jonas, tell us what you're up to. Oh, well, yeah, tomorrow at noon, we're going to be doing That Park Place Live. Oh, yeah, I love that show. That's a great show. Who's going to be on? Probably Vash Guy. I'm thinking Culture Casino. Maybe Marvin the Movie Monster might even be showing up. Who knows? But we're going to be talking about Rachel Zegler and that whole shenanigan there. Oh, I've been really looking forward to that. That's my favorite thing to talk about. Also, the fact that the Disney stock has been downgraded even more.
Again.
So thanks for having me on. Oh, it's always a pleasure, Jonas. It's fantastic. Don't you think you get a little loose on the late night live streams, though? Maybe. Who cares? Bye.
All right. Well, folks, what you don't know is that's actually what he's like in real life. When he's not on screen, he talks to himself, and we just try to listen in to find out what's going on.
Vash doesn't even exist.
Vash is AI, controlled a puppet in the mind of Jonas. And now
I
you all
don't
learn
think
it.
that's true. I think I've bumped into him in the park a few times, but okay.
Yeah, that was a
By the
hallucinogenic
way,
added to your vehicle by Jonas. So that you can believe that.
Good.
Jonas is never really gone, by the way.
Oh, what are you talking about? He's gone. He's taking care of the kids. There's no doubt.
I
Jonas,
buy
you're
all
still
of my
hovering
cars at police auction.
Well, we're going to be stuck with him, guys. He's going to be disembodied and hanging out in the background the whole rest of the stream. So watch what you say. Watch what you say. Official Dreg says Jonas. Check, it works. All right. Lauren, tell the folks out there where they can find you. And then we've got another story to go through about Disney crowd levels. But Lauren, what's going on? What's the latest? And how often do you dress in a green tunic, please, sir?
Not often, but you can usually find me in Jonas's lap.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Nope. That's it for all of you. Nobody gets to defend that. It's just the way it ends. Sorry, Jonas. Sorry, Lauren. No clarification needed. Clip it, folks. Clip it. It was a moment of intrigue brought to us. Scandal on the Pro Channel. Gentlemen, it's just the three of us now. It's like the Dr. Evil song. Just the three of us. We ready to do it? From the moment I found Culture, had a real big beard. I knew that he'd be cool because he was super weird. Oh, sorry. All right, let's get started, guys. Oh, I got a whole bag of with your name on it. All right, well, let's get to the Disney theme parks, if that's okay with you guys. And you girls out there, we'll hit it, and then I think you will enjoy what we've got. By the way, folks, later tonight, we're going to be sending you to Volume 2 of a Halloween playlist. We've got some new songs, including Don't Spread My Ashes in the Haunted Mansion. It's a brand new song that's racking up the hits over there on the records.
You're the 150 places to spread culture. You're ruining one of them.
I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope we don't have to spread culture that way anytime soon. You stick around, Culture.
I don't know. We'll see.
Listen, Culture, after your passing in about 200 years, I just want you to know, we do plan to carve your face into Mount Rushmore. We're just trying to find granite that is strong enough to accurately depict the beard.
Well, all you need is something that can hang. This is a giant overhang here. So
I heard that all you need is love, but apparently it's beard.
Yeah, all you need is beard. Okay, all right, let's go.
All right, here we go, guys. This is the chart. It's the one. It's out of thrillData.com, and boy, do they love ads, and we love when those ads disappear momentarily, so we'll take it while we can. Oh, it's back. Look at it's back. All right, well, we only need about a quarter of our screen size to show this off. Oh, me. Thrill Data, sorry for picking on you, but it is what it is. All right, so this is a chart that shows us the wait times across all of Disney World, month after month after month. Each single line in this chart is a different month of the year. And folks, we told you months ago that Disney was on the downfall when it came to the parks, that attendance was dropping. And by the way, attendance is highly correlated to wait times. So by using these wait times, where they take all of the posted wait times that Disney posts publicly and add them together, we can figure out just how crowded the parks might be. Now, we said that September was going to be the the least crowded month since the post-pandemic era at Disney. And as you can see over here, we've got the 2021 year and 2020, when the rides did not operate in the normal way, and they did not allow people to line up in the normal way, and you just have to throw those out. But starting in starting in November of 2021, they got rid of all that. And so ever since, the parks have been operating just about normal. You can see a downward trend. And indeed, September, just as we told you, came out with the lowest we've seen yet, 26 minutes as the average wait time. But boy, oh boy, take a look at October. After 2 days of October, what do we have? It has declined significantly. Now, that will improve over time because we're in the month of Halloween. So that will get better, and I do suspect that October will have higher attendance than September did, but that is not to say that things are dandy at all. Guys, we just saw Disney have their stock downgraded because of the theme parks and a fear that this could go on for 18 months of very lax attendance. We've got Epic Universe coming out. Guys, what do you think about this confirmation that Disney is down when it comes to people wanting to visit the happiest place on earth?
Well, I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I've been seeing it all month. I was just in Typhoon Lagoon on Sunday, and we got there for we did opening to close, and when I left, I was shocked because as we're leaving, the second parking lot out there, nobody was parked in the second parking lot. Everyone that was there for the entire day was able to park in the first parking lot. There was not
when you say the first and second parking lot, are you talking about nobody was parked up on the hill, or are you talking about just you're including
not even the hill? Not even the hill.
Gotcha.
The parking lot below the hill.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you come in, when you enter into the parking lot, you can go left or right. You're saying that all the
Yeah.
cars are parked to the right. Got it.
Yep.
So Typhoon Lagoon is rather empty at the moment. Apparently, the Disney parks proper are also very light. And culture, they're coming up against Epic Universe opening very, very soon now. We are months away from the largest theme park in North America finally being released to the world. How much worse does this get for Disney? And do you think that they might start actually taking down some of the rides in order to increase the wait times? Because that is a possibility. They could have some convenient refurbishments. What say you, Culture?
Well, I actually kind of hope they do. They have a lot of attractions that they've let fall into disrepair because of deferred maintenance, but not for the reasons that they would prefer to have that happen. But they could definitely take some down. I think you're going to lose, and I know this sounds like a big statement, but it really isn't. Disney's going to suffer a 20% drop in market share.
20%. Now Disney is currently at about 90. They hover between 90, 95, sometimes down in the upper 80s. You're saying that they could suffer a 20%. Now we're not giving any financial advice, folks. Don't want to be misconstrued as giving financial advice.
No.
But Culture, in your estimation, why will that occur?
Well, with the opening of Epic Universe and the requirement that you have to have a minimum 3-day ticket to attend, you are guaranteeing that people spend nearly half of their vacation week at Universal. Half of their vacation week is considerable. So you will see at least a 20% shift in business because almost everybody's going to want to go to the brand new theme park and they're not going to want to waste their time or their money to buy a 3-day ticket and not be able to utilize, the rest of the time or the rest of the value of that ticket in the other 2 or 3 or whatever parks. So, because if you consider the water park a hybrid park, it's its own theme park, you certainly wouldn't be, called, silly. So technically they really will have like 4 parks that will appeal to people. And you can only spend one of those days in Epic Universe from my understanding, Pro, correct me if I'm wrong. But, you would think it'd be even more than 20%, but my estimation is about 20%, not to mention the fact that the hotels that are closer to Universal are going to be rather full.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, now we're not even to the point that Epic Universe is open. Marvin, you were saying you visited Typhoon Lagoon yesterday, I believe you said. Have you been to any of the parks lately?
Yes, I was at Epcot recently as well, for food and wine even, and I was shocked at how few people were there. You were not getting any kind of huge queues forming at all the usual suspects. Canada, over in Mexico for the margarita. We got into La Cava Tequila, in and out. It was there was nothing going on.
You're going to have to explain to folks out there, La Cava Tequila, why that's a big deal, Marvin. Not everybody understands the Mexico Pavilion.
La Cava Tequila is a small hole-in-the-wall bar that used to be the greatest kept secret in Walt Disney World. If you knew it was there, it was the perfect place to get in, out of the heat, into the air conditioning, and get a nice margarita and maybe some chips and guac, sit down at one of maybe like the 5 or 6 tables that they have in there. Yeah. Since the advent of Instagram and, Disney social media influencers.
Internet.
Yep, exactly. La Cava Tequila is now a well-known commodity, and people line up to almost outside the pyramid to get into it. Takes forever to get in there.
Yeah.
So the fact that we were able to just walk in there like it was 2009 again, I mean, I was shocked by that.
So there have been multiple times that I've walked down the pathways, especially at Epcot. There's just nobody there. It's been great for stock footage, but nobody there in the parks on many occasions.
Okay, so I took advantage of the fact nobody wanted to travel after 9/11, and I went to Disney World up to 9 or 10 times, in a given year. I mean, I literally I was basically fearless because I figured this is the most secure you're ever going to be on a plane. So I wasn't worried about that. And I wasn't worried about Disney being a soft target because I knew just how much they'd worked with the intelligence community to secure their parks. And once we got around to, moving into the Fast Pass era and started beta testing, I think that was 2012, 2013, if I'm correct, Pro. Maybe I'm wrong by a couple of years there. But, I took advantage of the fact that it was slow at that point in time as well. I will say that every time that I went when it was the slowest possible opportunity, I had the time of my life. You are looking at crowds right now that are very similar to those points in time. I've never seen it like this empty. And you're right. I mean, October will definitely pick up crowd-wise because they're going to pump people through the everlasting Halloween party that starts earlier and earlier every year, and the other events of the day. But the festivals are usually pumping people into the parks, especially locals on the weekends. And my question is, for anybody who's been there on a weekend recently, are the crowds a weekend crowd? Are they a local weekend crowd where you are shoulder to shoulder with people? Or is it surprisingly comfortable? Can you get in and out of places? And according to many people who've visited the parks recently, including Lorena Creole, it's not that hard to do whatever you want to do at a time of the year where, usually Epcot's jammed.
Well,
right
Epcot
now,
is
most
empty.
of the people
Animal
that I
Kingdom is empty.
most of the people that I see around me when I'm in the parks now, I hear European accents because they're just pulling folks over. This is the time of year where folks come over from Europe, typically for a couple weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you guys, now this is going to get us into rumor territory, okay? Because I don't have a way to prove this. I've got to go off what somebody told me. I really, really believe what the person told me, but I can't prove it. So we're in official rumor and speculation territory with this next statement. You guys ever wonder why the parks can be so absolutely empty, but you still struggle to find a reservation at some of the hotels at Disney? Have you guys ever wondered that?
Mm-hmm.
Because they take rooms off.
I wondered it just. Yeah, just last week I was trying to book a room for my soon-to-be wife's birthday weekend, and I was having a hard time finding anything worthwhile.
They take rooms offline, a considerable chunk of them, and they have for quite some time. And ever since the global crisis, they've had a giant chunk of rooms that have been unavailable.
Well, here's what I was told, and I can't prove it. I can just tell you that I was told by somebody, and I believe what they say. But you all take the salt with this one. Guys, I was told that after the pandemic, that the U.S. military is buying up huge swaths of hotel rooms that can be given to military members so that they can stay in those hotel rooms when they're coming down to Florida to be of service in some way. So I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing is that, and maybe there are other organizations as well that have large chunks of hotel rooms that they're reserved, they're sitting there, they're ready to go if their members need them. But I think that's the way they're managing to make those hotel rooms be unavailable and give it sort of the sense of FOMO, where it's like, oh my gosh, well, people say Disney's empty, but I can't even find a room at the Contemporary. It's like, well, those rooms are empty, but somebody is reserving them. And anyway, I was told that it might be the U.S. military. Not sure. Guys, your thoughts on that?
Definitely possible. They're throwing every discount under the book. Right now, no matter who you are, you could have gotten a 30% discount on a room this month. The only thing they have not done, which I'm assuming is like right there on Josh Tomorrow's desk, this big red button in case of emergency, break open glass, is the free dining plan. That's the only thing they haven't done for domestic guests yet. They've done it for European guests. My friends visiting from the UK, they have the free dining plan.
I bet they're waiting on Epic to do that.
Yeah, I'm assuming it is only a matter of time before we get the dining plan for free.
Yeah,
I'm trying to recall. Again, it was right after the global crisis, right after 9/11, right after significant events and the housing collapse and all that, where we actually saw free dining plan pretty regular. It's usually when there's a downturn in the economy and they're trying to drive traffic to the park. We're going to feed you for free. And look, I mean, I'm sorry, but the free dining plan, especially at a given level, you can't eat all the food, and you usually are taking all the snacks home in the form of like Rice Krispie treats or something, because you just can't spend all. Well, you just can't spend.
I don't have any problem with stuffing zebra domes in every single pocket I have.
Well,
we'll wash it later.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that in order to get rid of all those snack credits. But look, I'll just say this.
Coach, have you had a zebra dome? Have you had a?
Yes,
have
I
you had
have.
a zebra?
Are you
Okay.
kidding?
I've never had a zebra dome. What is a zebra dome?
Oh,
Oh my
wait,
gosh.
wait. Okay, so there are two amazing restaurants over at Animal Kingdom Lodge in Kidani Village.
That explains it.
And you need to go over there and eat at that. The buffet is I forget the name of it.
We need
Boma.
We need to send
Boma.
Marvin over for an investigation of Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom Lodge. Then Marvin,
Yeah,
we're going to have to send him on location to try out.
I personally
the
think
zebra
at that
domes.
park place we should start doing restaurant reviews so that I can write.
I
off
can
all
see
of
why
my,
you might
all
want
my
that.
Disney food.
Dark chocolate and white chocolate ganache. That's a zebra dome.
It's so good.
Interesting. I've only
yeah.
stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge one time, so I didn't eat there.
Well, you were
so-
kicked out. In all honesty,
you need to stay in one of the Savannah View rooms.
I did that, and it was fantastic.
And you need to run down to the quick serve restaurant because they, in their little refrigerator case, they actually have zebra domes.
They've got them. You can request them. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Sorry, food gets me distracted. Look, like I said, I don't think we're long from room discounts. I don't think we're far away from the packages that include the dining plan. I don't think we're that far away. I think, like I said, the damage is coming soon. Disney is not prepared for what's going to happen in 2025. They're just not. And their short-sightedness, Pro, and their cost management baloney sausage, all in an effort to support their political ideology and agenda, has put them at such a great disadvantage compared to, Comcast Universal, that they should have built a fifth gate. This is a conversation I've been having for almost 20 years now. The fifth gate should have been built already and been waiting for guests. The capacity should already have been there.
I don't think a fifth gate's coming anytime soon.
No,
I think they have. I mean, the poor future planning for their parks has been incredible, and it's not stopping. They don't have people there with a vision, and so it's going to be a rough time for Disney. It's going to take a decade to clean up the parks, and that would take someone wanting to clean up the parks and get them on the right track. Currently, there is nobody. They're too busy building 10-story Marriotts in previously pristine areas and filling in the rivers of America. So that's where we are with modern Disney.
Yeah,
but guys, we've got to wrap because wait a minute. Vash Sky says shenanigans are happening right here on this channel. I can't believe Vash would say that there are shenanigans. We would never partake in shenanigans. Shenanigans? What's that?
Don't believe anything Vash is saying. That's Jonas. We all know it now. The
that's right.
Off of this conspiracy.
We should let Vash know that Jonas said that he is an extension.
Oh, look
of
above!
Jonas.
Look above. He says, "Wait, someone said I didn't exist."
Yep, it's a hard thing to realize. Sorry, Jonas. You'll have to let Jonas know that Jonas gave you away.
Marvin, someday I will meet you at a Florida park, and I will take you to GCO.
Oh, I will take you up on that in a heartbeat, my friend.
Okay.
I always love discovering new Disney food that I've never encountered before. But I mean, so I had a situation, if I could tell you real quick, super quick. My favorite thing from Food and Wine was back this year, the pierogies and kielbasa. I was so excited. I got it. It was 3 dry pierogies, and I'm not kidding you, one little 1-inch cube of kielbasa.
The portions.
I took a picture of it. I'll send it to you later.
The portions have fallen off significantly, and I heard from like the primary person at Epcot that basically runs food for the festivals, that their annual target is somewhere between 15 and 20% increase in food and beverage every single festival. They're trying to top that's why that's why prices and portions are always the things that you hit your pocketbook.
Is the honey and mead spot back, Marvin, this year?
No, not that I know of. I didn't see anything with mead because I would have been all over that. I actually just had mead tonight during the broadcast.
Little Viking.
I know. But you put me on a live stream with Stone Cold Loki every week on that game place. I'm going to start drinking mead.
It'll make it happen.
How about that for a plug there, Culture? No, but when I lost what I was going to say. Sorry.
That's the Viking blood speaking. You've downed a few too many of those. It
actually is Viking blood. I just had a little tiny splash of it.
Yeah, blood. BL with the weird looking O, then a D.
BLOD. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best stuff. All right, folks. Well, we've got a wrap here. Make sure you check out Marvin over at Tooneytown TV and Tooneytown Wrestling, as well as Culture Casino.
We got a live
Culture
stream
Casino
tomorrow night.
and That Game Place. And yeah, absolutely. Marvin, what time's your live stream tomorrow night?
Thursday nights, we go live on Tooneytown TV for Toonie Talk TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check it out.
I felt like you were stalling there to remember the time. That's a little worrisome. All right,
no,
folks.
I always remember the time. But I am seeing Joker tomorrow, so we will have a review of Joker on the show tomorrow.
Let's let the suffering end. Folks, we're gonna help you not have any suffering. We're about to send you to Vacation Radio for brand new songs. It's Halloween, Volume 2. And this time we've got a song about lesbian witches, as well as not spreading your ashes in the Haunted Mansion. Folks, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching us suffer. We hope you brought all kinds of additional information, including the Rachel Zegler stuff. We'll see you soon. 3 videos out tomorrow. Thrice as nice, and we'll keep at it. The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a...
And just like that, folks, let me see if Marvin's still here. Marvin, we got super chats that came in.
Oh,
we got super chats.
Good thing I stuck
Culture,
around.
Culture, get back in here, man. There's super chats.
Oh,
all right. Here we go. They came in late. We didn't see them in time. That was terrifying. We almost thought we would never leave a super chat behind. JPS for 2 says Jonas is always watching or listening or both. Well, apparently not, because he wasn't telling us, hey, get those super chats. Darn you, Jonas. And Walter Tomaszewski says Disney fixed their falling onto guest lampposts. Well, for the time being. And Walter, I don't know if I said your last name right, but I'll guarantee you I got closer than many of the secretaries and nurses who've tried to pronounce it in the past. We're glad to do the best we can. And those poor substitute teachers. Walter Tumitarwakuki? Oh, man, what a problem, right? All right, well, Couture Casino and Mervin, the Movie monster. Guys, wave. We're not outroing again. That's bad luck. Here we go. It's Vacation Radio time, folks. We'll see you over there.